For thousands of years, across vast and varied landscapes, Native American tribes didn't just survive, they thrived. From the scorching deserts to the unforgiving Arctic, they developed an intricate understanding of their environments, forging a deep connection with nature that became the bedrock of their existence. Their knowledge wasn't just about enduring hardship, it was about flourishing in harmony with the natural world. In a world where modern conveniences insulate us from the raw power of nature, it's easy to forget the profound wisdom held by those who lived intimately with it. Today, we're going to uncover 7 remarkable survival habits of Native American tribes that allowed them to not only face extreme climates, but to master them. These aren't just historical footnotes. They're timeless lessons in resilience, ingenuity, and sustainable living. 1. Unparalleled botanical knowledge and foraging. The living pantry and pharmacy. Imagine surviving, not just for a few days, but for generations, without a single grocery store, pharmacy, or hardware shop. This wasn't a hypothetical for Native American tribes. It was their reality, and their success hinged on an encyclopedic, intimate understanding of the plant world. This wasn't merely a skill. It was a profound, living science, passed down through countless generations. For them, every forest, every plain, every desert crevice was a potential pantry, a potent pharmacy, and a vital toolkit, if you knew how to read its signs. Their botanical knowledge extended far beyond simply identifying edible berries. It encompassed an intricate understanding of seasonal availability, knowing precisely when certain roots were ripe, when sap would flow, or when specific seeds were ready for harvest. They understood the subtle indicators of plant health, recognizing which plants were safe, which needed careful preparation to remove toxins, and which were downright dangerous. This discernment was often the difference between life and death. Consider the diverse applications. In the arid Southwest, tribes like the Apache and Navajo didn't just see the agave as a plant. They saw a multi-purpose lifeline. Its tough fibers were twisted into ropes, nets, and even sandals. The heart of the plant could be roasted for a sweet, nutritious food source, and its sap fermented. Similarly, the yucca plant provided not only edible fruit and seeds, but also powerful natural soap from its roots and strong fibers for weaving. They literally had washing detergent and essential textiles growing right outside their homes. Further east, in the vast woodlands, tribes like the Iroquois and Algonquin peoples were masters of the forest's bounty. They didn't just find food. They often encouraged its growth through careful tending and ecological stewardship. The harvesting of wild rice was a community event, done with reverence and methods that ensured future harvests. They tapped maple trees for their life-giving sap, transforming it into vital sugars and syrups that provided energy through long winters. Beyond these staples, their diets were rich with dozens of varieties of berries, nuts, mushrooms, and edible roots, each harvested at its peak and often preserved through drying or smoking for later use. But this knowledge wasn't just about food, it was about medicine. Native American healers, often referred to as medicine people, possessed an astonishing understanding of the medicinal properties of plants. They knew which herbs could reduce fever, which bark could alleviate pain, which leaves could heal wounds, and which roots could calm an upset stomach. Remedies for everything from toothaches to serious infections were derived directly from their natural surroundings. This sophisticated system of natural medicine predated modern pharmacology by millennia and often proved incredibly effective. Furthermore, plants were indispensable for crafting tools and shelter. Flexible saplings were bent for frames, sturdy barks stripped for containers, and various plant fibers woven into baskets, mats, and even parts of their clothing. Their homes, whether the longhouses of the northeast or the wickiups of the southwest, were often constructed using locally sourced botanical materials, perfectly adapted to insulate against heat or cold. In essence, their unparalleled botanical knowledge transformed the landscape into a living, breathing supermarket, pharmacy, and hardware store all rolled into one. It speaks to a level of observation, memory, and respect for nature that is truly awe-inspiring and offers profound lessons in self-sufficiency and sustainable living. 2. Masterful shelter. Construction and adaptation. Homes built for survival. When facing the brutal realities of extreme climates, whether it was the searing heat of the desert, the biting cold of winter, or torrential rains, a well-built shelter wasn't a luxury. It was the difference between life and death. Native American tribes weren't just building houses. They were engineering sophisticated, climate-appropriate living environments that seamlessly integrated with their surroundings and offered optimal protection. Their architectural wisdom wasn't about imposing structures on the land, but about crafting dwellings that worked with nature's forces. The sheer diversity of these structures is a testament to their ingenuity. You wouldn't find a single Native American house type, because each dwelling was a meticulous response to local materials, prevailing weather patterns, and the specific lifestyle of the tribe. Consider the iconic teepee of the Plains tribes. Far from a crude tent, the teepee was a marvel of portable engineering. Its conical shape was incredibly stable, able to withstand strong winds that would flatten rectangular structures. The strategically placed smoke hole at the top, often with adjustable flaps, created a natural ventilation system. In summer, opening the bottom flaps allowed cooling breezes to sweep through, pushing hot air upwards and out. In winter, sealing the flaps and lining the interior with additional hides created a surprisingly warm and cozy space, with the central fire efficiently drawing smoke out. And its portability was key. A teepee could be dismantled and re-erected in a matter of hours, essential for tribes following vast herds of buffalo. Moving to the southwestern deserts, the Pueblo peoples built multi-story, apartment-like complexes from adobe, a mixture of earth, water, and straw, baked hard by the sun. These thick adobe walls were phenomenal natural insulators. During the scorching daylight hours, they slowly absorbed the sun's heat, keeping the interiors remarkably cool. As the desert night temperatures plummeted, those same walls gradually released their stored warmth, radiating a gentle heat back into the rooms. The compact multi-level design also minimized exposed surface area, further contributing to thermal efficiency. Entry points were often small or on rooftops, adding a defensive element while also reducing heat gain or loss. In the dense, timber-rich regions of the Northeast, the longhouses of the Iroquois and other woodland tribes were communal dwellings that could stretch for hundreds of feet, housing multiple families under one roof. Built from sturdy timber frames and covered with bark shingles, these structures were designed for severe winters. The shared living space meant shared body heat, and multiple fire pits along the central aisle provided warmth efficiently. Their robust construction offered excellent protection from heavy snows and strong winds, creating a truly communal and resilient shelter system. Further north, the wickiups of the Apache and other nomadic groups were simpler, dome-shaped brush shelters, often constructed quickly from bent poles and covered with grass, brush, or hides. While seemingly more rudimentary, their brilliance lay in their rapid construction and ability to provide immediate, effective shelter against the elements in varied terrain. The common thread through all these diverse structures was a deep understanding of passive climate control. They used the sun, wind, and natural materials to their advantage, minimizing the need for external energy sources. Their shelters weren't just places to sleep. They were living extensions of the land, perfectly attuned to its demands and embodying a profound respect for environmental principles that modern architecture is only now rediscovering. These homes were truly built for survival, enduring and adapting for centuries. 3. Efficient hunting, trapping, and fishing techniques. Masters of the harvest. Sustaining a thriving community in the face of challenging climates demanded not just occasional luck, but unparalleled skill and deep ecological understanding in acquiring food. Native American tribes were absolute masters of hunting, trapping, and fishing, employing methods that were incredibly effective, yet always rooted in a profound respect for the animal world and the principles of sustainability. They understood that their survival was intrinsically linked to the health of the animal populations they relied upon, and they practiced a form of resource management that modern societies are only now beginning to grasp. Their methods were incredibly diverse, adapted to the specific prey available in different regions. For the vast herds of the Great Plains, tribes like the Lakota and Cheyenne developed highly organized communal buffalo hunts. This wasn't just individuals with bows. It was a sophisticated, coordinated effort. They would often use knowledge of buffalo behavior and the terrain to drive herds into natural corrals or over buffalo jumps, cliffs where the animals would fall, making harvesting easier and safer. Every part of the buffalo was utilized. The meat for food and pemmican, a nutrient-dense preserved food. The hide for clothing and teepee covers, bones for tools, sinew for thread, and even internal organs for various purposes. This zero-waste philosophy was central to their survival and a testament to their reverence for the animal. In the dense forests, hunting focused on deer, elk, and smaller game. Tribes like the Algonquin and Iroquois were renowned for their stealth, tracking abilities, and mastery of the bow and arrow. Their bows were crafted with precision, and arrows tipped with expertly flaked stone or bone points, allowing for clean, efficient kills. Beyond large game, they utilized ingenious traps and snares for smaller animals like rabbits, squirrels, and birds. These traps were often designed to be non-lethal or to ensure a quick, humane death, reflecting their respect for all life. Knowledge of animal trails, habits, and seasonal movements was crucial for successful trapping, ensuring a consistent protein source even when larger hunts might be less fruitful. For tribes living near rivers, lakes, or the coast, fishing was a primary source of sustenance, and their techniques were equally sophisticated. In the Pacific Northwest, tribes such as the Haida, Kwakiutl, and Tlingit developed an almost symbiotic relationship with the abundant salmon runs. They constructed intricate weirs and traps across rivers to funnel large numbers of salmon into designated areas where they could be easily harvested with spears, nets, or even bare hands. The sheer volume of fish caught during these runs necessitated advanced preservation methods, primarily smoking and drying. This allowed them to store vast quantities of fish, ensuring food security throughout the lean winter months. Elsewhere, tribes used specialized fishing spears, bone hooks, and even poisons derived from plants, applied to water bodies to stun fish, which were then collected for efficient harvesting. What truly set their hunting, trapping, and fishing apart was their sustainable approach. They understood that overhunting or overfishing would deplete resources for future generations. Practices like rotational hunting grounds, only taking what was needed, giving thanks for the animals harvested, and respecting breeding cycles were ingrained in their traditions. This deep ecological awareness wasn't a policy, it was a way of life, ensuring that the bounty of the land and waters would continue to provide for millennia. 4. Resourceful water sourcing and conservation. The lifeline of survival. In many extreme climates, water wasn't just a commodity, it was the ultimate determinant of survival. From the bone-dry deserts of the Southwest to the frozen landscapes of the Arctic, Native American tribes developed an extraordinary array of sophisticated methods for finding, collecting, purifying, and crucially, conserving every precious drop of this life-sustaining resource. Their ability to manage water revealed a profound understanding of hydrology, meteorology, and the subtle cues of the land, a knowledge base honed over thousands of years. Imagine traversing a seemingly barren landscape, knowing that hidden beneath your feet, or within a specific plant, lies the key to hydration. Desert tribes, like the Havasupai, who ingeniously carved out a vibrant existence within the Grand Canyon, were masters at locating hidden springs and seeps, often far from obvious rivers or streams. They learned to read the subtle changes in vegetation, the flight patterns of birds, and the geological formations that indicated underground water sources. This wasn't guesswork. It was an intimate, almost intuitive knowledge of their environment. Beyond natural springs, Native Americans employed ingenious techniques to collect water from less apparent sources. In arid regions, some tribes learned to collect dew by strategically placing absorbent materials, or even gathering it directly from the leaves of certain plants in the early morning. Others constructed simple but effective rainwater harvesting systems, using natural depressions, rock formations, or even specially designed shallow pits lined with clay or hide to collect and store runoff during sporadic downpours. In winter, tribes skillfully melted snow and ice, understanding that while abundant, this water source required significant energy and careful handling to prevent hypothermia. However, finding and collecting water was only half the battle. Purification and conservation were equally critical. While many natural water sources were clean, they understood the risks of stagnant water or contaminated sources. Some methods of purification included allowing sediment to settle, using natural filtration through sand and gravel, or even boiling water over a fire. The development of specialized water vessels, such as woven baskets lined with pitch, pottery, or animal bladders, demonstrates their foresight in transport and storage, minimizing evaporation and spills. Conservation was not merely a practice, it was an inherent part of their worldview. They knew that their very existence depended on respecting and preserving this vital element. Their deep understanding of water cycles, geological formations, and botanical indicators allowed them to thrive in environments that would be inhospitable to many, demonstrating a wisdom in resource management that continues to inspire. 5. Ingenious clothing and material adaptation. Dressed for the elements. Protection from the elements isn't just about staying dry. It's about regulating body temperature, preventing frostbite in extreme cold, and guarding against sunstroke in blistering heat. Native American tribes were absolute masters of creating clothing and footwear perfectly suited to their diverse and often harsh environments. This wasn't merely about fashion, it was about survival, demonstrating an ingenious understanding of natural materials, insulation, and the principles of thermal regulation. They didn't rely on synthetic fabrics or mass production. Instead, they transformed the resources available to them, primarily animal hides, furs, and an array of plant fibers, into garments that offered unparalleled protection, flexibility, and durability. The crafting of these items was a meticulous, labor-intensive process, involving tanning hides, weaving fibers, and precise stitching using natural sinew. Consider the Arctic, where the Inuit peoples faced some of the planet's most unforgiving cold. Their solution was the multi-layered caribou skin parka and pants. The design was brilliant. An inner layer with the fur facing inward for warmth, and an outer layer with the fur facing outward for wind and snow protection. Air trapped between these layers provided exceptional insulation. These garments weren't just warm, they were engineered for mobility, allowing hunters to navigate treacherous, icy landscapes. Their muklux, or boots, were equally vital. Often crafted from caribou hide with sealskin soles, they were designed to be warm, waterproof, and provide superior traction on ice and snow, preventing critical falls and frostbite. Moving to the temperate forests and plains, tribes relied heavily on deerskin. This material was incredibly versatile. When properly tanned, deerskin was soft, breathable, and surprisingly tough. It was fashioned into tunics, leggings, skirts, and especially moccasins. Moccasins were more than just footwear. They were a crucial interface with the terrain. Their soft, flexible soles allowed for silent movement during hunting and provided a sensory connection to the ground, allowing wearers to feel roots and rocks beneath their feet, preventing stumbles in uneven terrain. Designs varied widely by region. Some were high-topped for snow protection, others lower for greater agility. In the warmer, humid climates of the southeast or along the coasts, clothing needed to be breathable and offer protection from sun, insects, and abrasive vegetation. Here, woven plant fibers came into their own. Materials like cattail, yucca, or cedar bark were skillfully processed and woven into lightweight, airy tunics, skirts, and cloaks. These garments allowed for airflow, preventing overheating while still providing necessary coverage. For example, some cloaks made from shredded cedar bark offered surprising warmth in damp conditions, demonstrating an understanding of how natural fibers reacted to moisture. Every stitch, every choice of material, and every layering technique was a testament to centuries of accumulated knowledge about living in extreme conditions. Their clothing wasn't just functional, it was an extension of their connection to the natural world, allowing them to move freely and survive comfortably where others would succumb to the elements. They were truly dressed for success, tailored by nature itself. 6. Collaborative community and knowledge sharing. While individual skills were vital, the true strength of Native American survival lay in the power of community and the sharing of knowledge. Survival wasn't a solo endeavor. It was a collective effort, built on intergenerational wisdom, collaboration, and mutual support. Elders played a crucial role, passing down centuries of accumulated knowledge through storytelling, practical demonstrations, and oral traditions. Every member of the community had a role, from hunting and gathering to crafting and child rearing. In harsh times, resources were shared, and the burden of survival was distributed, ensuring that the entire group could endure. This deep sense of interconnectedness and shared responsibility was a powerful force against the challenges of nature, demonstrating that collective wisdom often outweighs individual strength. 7. Mastery of tool crafting and innovation. Beyond finding and utilizing natural resources, Native American tribes were brilliant engineers and artisans, constantly innovating and refining the tools that made survival possible. Their ability to craft specialized instruments from the materials at hand was fundamental to their success in diverse environments. From the precise flint-napped arrowheads and spear points for hunting, to durable stone axes and bone awls for construction and crafting, each tool was a testament to their ingenuity. They understood the properties of different stones, woods, and animal products, selecting the ideal material for each purpose. They developed methods for grinding, polishing, and hafting, attaching handles, that created highly effective and long-lasting implements. Whether it was the intricate fishing weirs of the Pacific Northwest, the specialized digging sticks for routes in the plains, or the efficient snowshoes for winter travel, their tools were perfectly adapted to their tasks and environments. This continuous process of innovation and refinement meant they weren't just reacting to their surroundings, but actively shaping their ability to thrive within them, demonstrating remarkable adaptive skill and resourcefulness. The survival habits of Native American tribes offer us incredible insights into human ingenuity, resilience, and the profound wisdom that comes from living in harmony with the earth. Their methods were not about conquering nature, but about understanding and collaborating with it. In a world grappling with environmental challenges and the desire for greater self-sufficiency, these ancient practices hold timeless lessons. They remind us of the power of observation, the importance of community, and the fundamental truth that our well-being is intrinsically linked to the health of the natural world. What other practical skills do you think are essential for modern survival or preparedness? Share your thoughts in the comments below.